Out of 4,200 franchises in the US, most of them will not make you your money back, and I can prove it. But what's crazy is there's a few hidden in there that will pay you back in 3 years or less. And in a minute, I'm gonna show you a side-by-side comparison that makes this painfully obvious. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You see, I've personally gone through hundreds of FDDs, franchise disclosure documents. These are documents that are required by the FTC for every single registered franchise to disclose information about the business opportunity. I haven't skimmed them, I've actually gone through and broken them down line by line. And after doing that, I've realized something that should actually scare you a little bit. Because the biggest problem isn't just bad franchises, it's that good ones disappear before most people ever know they exist. And when I show you this comparison in a minute, you'll understand why. There are over 4,200 franchises. Sounds like a lot of good opportunities, right? Wrong. Over half of them, over 50%, don't even disclose an item 19. This is the part of the FDD that actually shows what a location can earn or what the average earning potential is. And franchises that don't disclose this oftentimes make up excuses like, well, we don't want to make guarantees or things like that. Well, just like any business opportunity or investment, imagine investing in a stock that wouldn't disclose its performance over the past few years. Would you ever do that? No. So don't do that with a business opportunity either. And the best part about franchising is that the information in that item 19 legally has to be accurate and audited. And if it's not, that franchise is going to get in trouble. So that's where underperformers don't even put anything in there. Or if they do, they only show top line without all the other numbers broken down. No profit, no expenses, not what you actually take home. And that's how people end up writing a $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 check for something that never even pays them back. But here is where the comparisons get dangerous. Because a lot of these franchises on the surface, they look the same until you actually run the numbers. Because most franchises fall into two buckets. Bucket number one is what's called micro franchises. There aren't that many in existence, under 20 or so. And because of this, they don't have much validation. And then on top of this, they also don't tend to have very good track records either. Essentially, you are their test dummy business owner when you open up a franchise with one of those concepts. Then bucket number two is very established brands, ones you've heard of. They feel safe, but there's one massive problem. All the good territories are already gone. And that's where the majority of success and the successful numbers that they show come from. Because in franchising, timing matters far more than people ever realize. The franchisees that really win, they get in early. So let me show you what this actually looks like. And this is best done when you compare two scenarios side by side. You'll have the same entrepreneur, the same effort, but two completely different outcomes. All right, so you have scenario one. You invest $150,000 liquid. You get an SBA loan for an additional $400,000. So you're about $550,000 all in. The franchise you've bought does about $1.6 million top line and has a target net margin of 18%. Not an aspirational goal of 18%, a target that you can actually do better than. That's $288,000 a year directly in your pocket. So over 3 years, you've made $864,000. You've taken that initial investment of your liquid capital of $150,000 and turned it into a business that now pays you about $300,000 a year, year over year. Now, watch how quickly this flips. Scenario number two, you invest all in with loans or liquid capital about $700,000 for a business that does on average about $600,000 a year with a aspirational goal of 15% net margin. That's roughly $90,000 a year. So over 3 years, you're around $270,000 to $315,000 that you've profited. So what just happened? You just invested $700,000 to make $90,000 a year. And over 3 years, you've only made about 300,000. So you're still down about 380,000. And on top of that, you've probably quit your job, lost your health benefits, took on debt, signed guarantees, signed commercial leases. For what? To go backwards? To just have more risk and no more reward or even less? And here's the worst part. Here's the trap that a franchisor will say.
Well, if one location does about $100,000 a year net profit, imagine if you had 10. You would be bringing in $1 million a year net profit.
Sounds amazing, right? Except that's not even feasible because most of all the good territories are gone and are going to be subpar markets. And that right there is why I said earlier, the good opportunities disappear before most people ever hear about them. So the game isn't how do I buy a franchise? The game is how do I avoid the bad ones and find the few where the math actually works. If there's no item 19 in their FDD, walk away. If they only show top line revenue, dig deeper. If the best territories are already gone, I'm sorry, it's too late. And if your projected payback period isn't 3 years or less, you're probably taking on too much risk. So if you're sitting at about $70K to $150K liquid capital, you're thinking about buying a franchise or starting a business, slow down and get this part right. Because this decision is the difference between building income or just lighting cash on fire. There are absolutely great opportunities out there, but they're not obvious. They're not the loudest. They're not the ones running ads everywhere, or like if you're in the Southeast, billboards on the side of the road. And when you find one of those businesses, you're not just buying into a franchise, you're actually buying into a good investment. So if you want help identifying a few of those unicorn brands, click on the form below or at the email that is linked below as well. And I'd love to have an initial conversation with you so you know myself and the company that I work with, it's no extra cost to you to talk with us or to even discover, uncover, and join a franchise group. No extra cost, just like how a realtor helps you find a good home for no extra cost of your own. But the cost of not using a group like the one that I'm a part of can cost you not only a lot of money, but a lot of your life. My name is Keith Kepner. I'm a franchise consultant and actually a franchisor. I hope you have an amazing day.